At this point, you've probably heard of the hype that Facebook, or now known as Meta, has created. While most people have the completely wrong impression of Zuckerberg's vision, let's find out what the scenario really is, and why the Facebook company decided to rename itself out of nowhere. In this video, we will explore why did Facebook change its brand name, what is a metaverse, how does the brand name change affect the business at this point, and how it will likely shape the future of the company. After the video of Mark Zuckerberg aired on social media on the 28th of October, where he clearly described his vision of a metaverse, people haven't been able to stop talking about it. Going back to the basics, we all know that Facebook represented the brand that owns most of the social media apps that we're so addicted to, including Facebook itself, Instagram, WhatsApp, and many others. What we really don't get is, was it really necessary to change the company name? Well, there are actually a few main reasons for that. The group's lead, Andrew Bosworth, wrote that Facebook wanted to remove the limitations of physics in order to allow people to connect with one another in virtual spaces. And this brings us to probably one of the most important reasons behind these changes. The company wants to transform itself in order to be ahead of its competitors in the battle for the users when the world becomes fully virtualized. Of course, AR and VR technologies are not that popular yet, but Cyberpunk 2077 and Ready Player One have clearly demonstrated to us what direction the world is moving. Apple, Microsoft, Google are all investing heavily in virtual reality technologies. So does Facebook. On the other hand, some argue that Facebook's rebranding is a PR-driven diversion from the multi-directional scrutiny it's facing at the moment. This might be true to some extent, since Meta doesn't seem like an overnight idea. The headquarters have probably been curating the idea for a while now, but people have obviously been linking the incidents. Recent Facebook data leaks and the release of the Panama Papers could have made the situation just worse and sped up the brand name change. The name change could also help Facebook overcome some restrictions it constantly faces due to its well-recognized brand name. You probably heard that they shut down their face detection algorithms, but guess what? Meta did not. We believe this has the potential to enable positive use cases in the future that maintain privacy, control, and transparency, the company wrote in a blog post. Taking it into account, Meta could potentially become the headquarters for all the R&D that could potentially harm the Facebook brand, but will not harm Meta this much. And lastly, as the Meta logo suggests, the company aims to have infinite boundaries. The reason for the shift in the company name could be the fact that with Facebook, the company had limited growth opportunities. It suggested a company that owns social media platforms. Clearly, Mark had bigger plans. With Meta being the official company, Zuckerberg can explore almost every aspect of the growth. It is obvious now that Facebook had multiple reasons for changing the brand name, but now we need to understand what is a metaverse. Well, here's the bad news. Not even the guy who popularized it can fully explain it. At least, we can identify the key attributes behind the metaverse. Things will happen as in an online game. You can't pause or go back in time. You can buy, sell, and invest in things as you would in the physical world. It should become a fully functioning economy. It will have unprecedented interoperability, meaning you can bring your virtual self and your assets with you. Hello, NFTs. The term metaverse first showed up in Neil Stephenson's sci-fi novel Snow Crash in 1992. Later on, it appeared in Ernest Cline's book Ready Player One. And of course, you can simply imagine one of the latest online games your kids and maybe you are playing these days. Unfortunately, as it happens with many of the hyped terms, the metaverse is being widely misused in the media. When Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella said that his company was building the enterprise metaverse in reference to the company's cloud computing services, he was mocked on social media for indiscriminately using a buzzword. Essentially, this term could mean everything and nothing, so be careful. The situation is pretty much the same for a normal user like it was before. Except now, when you open the apps, you can see the By Meta tab. There have been no major updates that would make us think of a major change. there has been no big difference in the way the algorithm of these social media apps works. This has led people to believe that there might not be a big change, and that it's a useless rebranding. However, the eye of a business-interested person like you could have noticed some changes. Firstly, the company is spending so much on the metaverse. They are hiring 10,000 jobs in Europe to work on it. Meta's operating profits will take a $10 billion hit this year. Secondly, even before Meta's announcement, 20% of Facebook employees were working on the AR/VR side. And finally, Meta is giving up its ticker FB and going with MVRS on December 1st, 2021. All these subtle signs should make us understand this is real. The changes are happening right here in front of our eyes. Since the brand name change, market has reacted more than positively to the rebranding. The stock has grown more than 8% since October 28th, which makes us think that investors believe in the bright future of the brand. During the announcement, Meta shared their future scope of the work. They unveiled plans for a higher-end VR headset by 2022, a new AR/VR developer platform called the Presence Platform, which will make it easier for devs to build apps for the metaverse. The Oculus brand will be sunset in 2022, and all headsets will have Meta branding. Well, that's it for now. One can think that on the 28th of October, Facebook tried to sell their new brand, and it would be true. Many concerns arise when thinking of the metaverse future. Zuckerberg said on the call that the timeline for people to begin really using the metaverse is 5 to 10 years out. This means 5 to 10 years of mostly research and development work. The work that relies heavily on machine learning and virtual reality technologies, the most expensive technologies in the IT sector. This will easily result in trillion-dollar spending in the near future. What is important to understand here is that by investing that much in the future technology, Facebook is making a bet that can bring the company to the next level or put it down on its knees. If all these theories, expectations, and predictions are true about the meta, then surely it's a bigger game than we can expect. We might be able to create our own worlds through VR at home. We might experience all those things that we only ever saw in movies and games. We might be able to create ourselves in a non-real world. Do you really want that though? Do you wish to have everything in your bed and never experience socializing like we used to? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and share. This motivates us to bring top-notch content to your screens every week.